All right, if you're a movie lover, you know The Shawshank Redemption. I mean, for so many of us, it's way more than just a film, right? It's this cultural touchstone, this epic story about hope that's just captured hearts all over the world. So let's dig in and figure out what really makes this movie a masterpiece.
I mean, check this out. For years, this film has had this unbreakable grip on the #1 spot on IMDb's list of the greatest films ever made. You'd think with a title like that, it was an instant, universal hit. But, and this is the crazy part, the story of its success is almost as incredible as the movie itself.
Because when it first came out, it was a total box office disaster. A bomb. It lost millions of dollars. It just vanished from theaters without making a sound. By any measure, it was a complete and utter failure.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth does a movie go from playing to totally empty theaters to being crowned the most beloved film of all time? The answer to that tells you everything you need to know about what makes a story truly timeless. Okay, Section 1, A Masterpiece's Humble Beginning. To really get this story, we've got to travel back to the year it came out. And wow, what a year 1994 was for movies. See, Shawshank didn't just have to be good. It had to survive an absolute gauntlet of some of the biggest films, well, ever.
Just look at this lineup. I mean, come on. When Shawshank was released in October '94, people were lining up for Pulp Fiction, for Forrest Gump, The Lion King. Heck, Jurassic Park was still playing in some places. It was a year of absolute titans. And Shawshank, this quiet, serious prison drama, it just got completely lost in the noise.
And this quote from the director, Frank Darabont, just says it all. "We went to a showing on opening night and found the theater empty." Can you imagine? You pour your heart into a movie, you go on opening night, and there's nobody there. It was a flop in every single way. The fascinating thing, though, is how the movie's own journey would end up mirroring the story it was telling.
All right, Section 2, From King's Page to Darabont's Screen. So, if it wasn't a smash hit right away, what was the secret sauce? Well, to figure that out, you have to go back to the source material, a Stephen King novella, and look at the absolutely brilliant changes director Frank Darabont made for the movie.
You see, Darabont didn't just copy-paste the story. He took its emotional heart and turned the volume way up. For instance, Red's character, in the book, he's an older Irish guy. In the movie, he's Morgan Freeman, which, yeah. Or think about Tommy. In the book, he just gets transferred. In the movie, he's brutally murdered, which totally raises the stakes for Andy. But there were two other changes that took tiny details from the book and made them the absolute soul of the film.
And this right here is a perfect example. Darabont said, "I saw Brooks as the thematic spine of the movie, tilting between despair and hope." Now get this. The character of Brooks, the old librarian, he's mentioned in one sentence in the novella. One. Darabont took that one sentence and built this heartbreaking, fully realized character. Brooks became the face of despair, the very thing Andy had to fight against with his hope. His story makes Andy's fight feel so much more real and important.
And then you've got the opera scene, that incredible, beautiful moment of defiance. It's not in the book at all. Darabont just added it. He felt the story needed that moment of pure release, of beauty and freedom, and boy, was he right. It's probably one of the most famous scenes in movie history, and it's a perfect example of how an amazing adaptation can take something great and make it absolutely legendary.
Okay, Section 3, The Psychology of Hope. Now, brilliant filmmaking is one thing, but it's not the whole story. The real reason Shawshank hits so hard, the reason we watch it over and over, is because of the powerful psychology running right through its core.
So, if you really want to understand Andy Dufresne, a great way to do it is with something called positive psychology. Basically, instead of focusing on what's wrong with people, this field of study looks at what's right with them. It's all about the strengths like hope and resilience that help us thrive even when things are really, really bad.
And when psychologists look at this movie, they basically see Andy Dufresne as a textbook example of these strengths in action. I mean, just think about it for a second. His hope, his altruism, building that library for the other inmates, his incredible courage, his creativity, and oh my gosh, his patience. We're talking 2 decades. These aren't just random personality quirks. They're the actual psychological tools he uses to survive.
There's another cool idea we can use here from a psychologist named Alfred Adler. He talked about something called the Nihai Hedef, which basically means a final goal. Adler's whole thing was that a healthy, thriving person is driven by some kind of long-term goal that gives their life meaning. Does that sound like anyone we know?
Yeah, exactly. This is what makes Andy so compelling. His final goal wasn't just, I gotta get out of here. No, it was a whole vision for the future, a peaceful life in Zihuatanejo, and not just for him, but for his friend Red, too. And here's the kicker. While he's working towards that goal, he's also making life better for everyone else around him. According to Adler's theory, that combination is the sign of a truly strong, psychologically healthy person.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Section 4. Why Shawshank Endures. So how did this movie, this deep, brilliant film that failed so badly at first, end up becoming one of the most loved stories ever?
Well, Frank Darabont himself kind of nailed it. He said, it's a love story between two friends. You don't get a story of male friendship, brotherhood, without there being a caper or a car chase. And think about how true that is. At a time when movies were all about explosions, Shawshank gave people something they didn't know they were missing. A deep, powerful story about friendship. That emotional connection is why it resonates with so many people.
You know, the film never had that huge blockbuster opening weekend. Its success was a slow burn. It got a bunch of Oscar nominations, which helped, but then it found a whole new life on VHS and cable TV. People would discover it at home, and then they'd tell their friends, you have to see this movie. It became this massive hit entirely through word of mouth, a true classic sleeper hit.
And you know what's really cool? Its legacy is something you can actually go and see. That incredible Gothic prison from the movie? It's a real place, the Ohio State Reformatory. It was actually set to be demolished, but the film's popularity literally saved it from the wrecking ball. Now it's a huge tourist attraction where fans can go walk those same halls, stand inside Andy's cell, and just feel the power of that story.
So what does this all mean? I think it begs the question. Is a story's greatness really measured by how much money it makes on opening weekend? Or is it measured by its power to give hope to people year after year, generation after generation? The Shawshank Redemption's own journey from failure to legend seems to answer that for us. After all, get busy living or get busy dying.